married to and then related to in many ways to a Jewish person who always said, well, if you see the Palestinian side, almost anything, you know, positive about the Palestinian side, then it means that you are anti-Semitic. And so this was so shocking to me that it silenced me for a while. I mean, I said a few things, I wrote a few things, but I felt that I had left something undone. And I realized at this point in my life, and years earlier actually, that there are things in life that call to us, and they're ours to do. And this was one of the things that was mine to finish. And so I went to Gaza, and I met with women who had lost everything, and their children, their houses. You know, I sat on the rubble, even though there was the phosphorus powder, because it was just overwhelming to see the injury and the damage that had been done to these people by the Israeli government. And I knew that it was my responsibility as a writer and as a human being to witness this and to write about it. I mean, why else am I a writer? You know, why else do I have a conscience? I think that all people who feel that there is injustice in the world anywhere should learn as much of it as they can bear. That is our duty.
Would you like to read a little from the book?
I'll try. I don't have my reading glasses, but I can do my best.
Maybe it feels familiar.
Okay, yeah. All right. Oh, where is it? Where is that, Amy? I don't see it.
It feels familiar, number 17.
Okay. I think we might... Right there. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. It feels familiar. One of the triumphs of the civil rights movement is that when you travel through the South today, you do not feel overwhelmed by a residue of grievance and hate. This is the legacy of people brought up in the Christian tradition, true believers of every word Jesus had to say on the issues of justice, loving kindness, and peace. This dovetailed nicely with what we learned of Gandhian nonviolence, brought into the movement by Bayard Rustin, a gay strategist for the civil rights movement. A lot of thought went into how to create the beloved community so that our country would not be stuck with violent hatred between black and white, and with the continuous spectacle and suffering of communities going up in flames. The progress is astonishing, and I will always love Southerners, black and white, for the way we have all grown. Ironically, though there was so much suffering and despair as the struggle for justice tested us, it is in this very, quote, backward part of our country today that one is most likely to find simple human helpfulness, thoughtfulness, and disinterested courtesy. I speak a little about this American history, but it isn't history that these women know. These are the women, the Palestinian women I'm with. They're too young. They've never been taught it. It feels irrelevant. Following their example of speaking of their families, I talk about my Southern parents' teachings during our experience of America's apartheid years, when white people owned and controlled all the resources and the land, in addition to the political, legal, and military apparatus, and used their power to intimidate black people in the most barbaric and merciless ways. These whites who tormented us daily were like Israelis who have cut down millions of trees planted by Arab Palestinians, stolen Palestinian water, even topsoil, forcing Palestinians to use separate roads from those they used themselves. They have bulldozed innumerable villages, houses, mosques, and in their place built settlements for strangers who have no connection whatsoever with Palestine. Settlers who have been the most rabidly anti-Palestinian of all, attacking the children, the women, everyone, old and young alike, viciously.
Alice, I wanted to go back to March 2009,
yes,
when you were in Gaza, to a video of you there.
It's shocking beyond anything I have ever experienced, and it's actually so horrible that it's basically unbelievable. Even though I'm standing here and I've been walking here and I've been looking at things here, it still feels like, you know, you could never convince anyone that this is actually what is happening and what has happened to these people and what the Israeli government has done. It will be a very difficult thing for anyone to actually believe in. So it's totally important that people come to visit and to see for themselves. Because the world community that cares about peace and cares about truth and cares about justice will have to find a way to deal with this. We cannot let this go as if it's just okay, especially those of us in the United States who pay for this. You know, I have come here in part to see what I'm buying with my tax money.
That was Alice Walker in 2009, interviewed by my colleague here at Democracy Now!, Angela Comet. When you look back at you walking through the rubble of Gaza, your thoughts?
My thought is that I am so glad I was there. I am so glad that I managed to gather myself and present myself to this situation, because it is my responsibility, you know, as a person, as an elder, as someone who cares about the planet, who really wants us all to thrive, you know, or just survive. This is a very thorny issue, and it takes all of us looking at it as carefully as we can to help solve it. It's not that it's impossible to solve, but what will help a lot is the insistence by all of us on fairness and on people actually understanding what they're looking at.
You say that the Middle East solution is beyond the two-state solution, and you also talk about restorative justice.
Yes, I do, because I believe in restorative justice. I think we could use that here. I mean, I don't feel great about the past leaders here not being brought to trial, actually, you know. But if we can't have trial, we could at least have counsel. I mean, but to let people, any people, just go after they've murdered lots of people and destroyed a lot, it's not right. It destroys trust. So, what was the rest of the question?
And you believe in a one-state solution.
Oh, the one-state solution. Yes, I do. I mean, when I think about my tax money, and I think about, well, you know, given that I've already given, and we as a country have given over $1 trillion to Israel in the last, since, I don't know, 48 or something, but a lot of money that we could have used here. Where would I be happiest to see, you know, my money spent? Well, I would be happy seeing my money spent for all the people who live in Palestine. And that means that, you know, the Palestinians who are forced out of their houses, forced off of their land, should come back and share the land, all of it, including the settlements. You know, if I am going to be asked to help pay for settlements, I would like to be, you know, permitted to say who gets to live in them. And I would like the women and children, the Palestinian women and children that I saw, I would like to say, take them by the hand and say, you know what, look at this. We built this for you. You're home now.
Alice Walker, her latest book, Overcoming Speechlessness, a poet encounters the horror in Rwanda, Eastern Congo, and Palestine, Israel. We will continue our conversation tonight at 8 o'clock at the 92nd Street Y in New York City at 92nd and Lex, and we will play portions of that here. We'll also post on our website Anjali's entire interview with Alice Walker in Gaza last year. That does it for our broadcast. Democracy Now! Produced by Mike Burke, Shrifado Kudus, Aaron Mata, Angela Comet, Steve Martinez, Nicole Salazar, Hani Masood, Robbie Karen, Mike DeFilippo, Peter Curry's our engineers. I'm Amy Goodman. Thanks for joining us.